And what does this mean? Okay, to give you guys a frame of reference here, according to the National Association of Realtors, which has been keeping track of real estate sales since about the Great Depression, they have about 100 years worth of data. The National Association of Realtors historic trends data will tell us that the shift between a buyer's market and a seller's market is usually around 6 months of inventory. 6 months of inventory, a market is typically about balance or a balanced market. So if inventories inside a specific market are below 6 months, like as an example, let's say there were 3 months of inventory in any given market, we would classify that as a seller's market. Because with significantly less than 6 months inventory, the demand from buyers would be higher than the inventory from the sellers. And thus, that would mean that the market was likely more advantageous for the selling party in a transaction. On the other side of 6 months, though, for example, if there was 9 months of active inventory in a specific market, we would traditionally refer to that as a buyer's market, because with higher amounts of inventory, the buyers would tend to be able to take advantage in negotiation scenarios, and sellers would have to be more likely to make concessions, reduce prices, or offer incentives to potential buyers, right? We got that. But this can be a tricky thing to understand because people go, well, what do you mean there's 9 months of inventory? Isn't there always inventory coming in and coming out? It's kind of based on the premise that the market itself would stop. Meaning, what I would do is I'd look at any given market and I'd say, if I go into a market and I know that that market traditionally moves 1,000 units a month, make 1,000 homes sell a month in that market, and there's currently 5,000 homes on the market, when there would be 5 months of inventory. If we're dissipating 1,000 homes a month and there's 5,000 houses on the market, yes, more will keep coming and more will keep leaving. But if you were to halt all new inventory, meaning if all the real estate agents in a market or if all the sellers market, hypothetically colluded, or they just said, we're not going to list a single house until all these homes are gone. Well, then you could tell that if 1,000 houses move a month and there's 5,000 homes on the market and no other houses were listed, well, then relatively in 5 months, in theory, all those houses should be gone or right around there. So it's not an actual thing. It's more of what is it currently based on the inventory and the dissipation rate currently. And both of those things can change. Inventory could go up, but the dissipation rate could also creep up. Like maybe there's 7,000 houses on the market, but all of a sudden you're moving 1,500 homes a month, or you're moving 2,000 homes a month. So they're both variables that you're going to want to keep track of. Now, understanding a little bit more about the market in general, we also want to look at if the market is shifting.